You remember we ended on the cliffhanger.
Well, what kind of cliffhanger?
We've apparently tricked them, but we haven't. But we have.
Yeah. So you guys came back to the hotel, and then you pretty much like took a little bit of time to sort of hide out there, make some plans, try and figure out what your next course of action is. Bernie got in touch with one of his old friends and had her come over because he thought that she might be able to help with the deactivated androids. And or is it biodroid? Is it like a what's the correct term for your
Mechanoid.
people there, Abic? Mechanoid, okay.
Mechanoid.
For trying to help with the other two who are inactive. It turned out to be Medusa's girlfriend, who like had some, was able to answer some questions, get some information, try and give you a few ideas slash suggestions as far as she was able to. Um, and then after that, you basically finished out the rest of that day, continuing to plan some stuff out, and then as you were getting ready on that, the dawn of the final day, to use Majora's Mask terms, to go to Medusa's place and try and figure out a way to like bargain with her to not turn you over. One of her messengers came into the parking lot and was like seemed like visibly surprised when he saw you. He was like, "Oh, huh, you are still here. How did you guys trick the company then?" And yeah, that was where we left off.
How did we trick the company?
Is that being said in or out of game?
No. I would have given.
Okay.
Because I was the one who approached, wasn't I?
I mean, you had opened your door first, but I think like
Yeah.
like you opened your door when the car pulled up and he was like over here, and then as he was walking across the parking lot, the other two came outside. So like everybody is there in my belief.
We can all be baffled.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
So am I full sounds weird, but
Basically, you only have kind of like stubble for hair. Like right now, you have like you look like you but bald, right? Essentially, and then like tomorrow, it'll get to the point where you have like kind of short hair, maybe down to like jawline. And then if your hair is any longer than that, the day after it'll be at full length. But you have all of your like features and skin and such now.
just looked at him and was like, we didn't? Why? What happened?
Wait, why are you asking me what happened? You guys are the ones who. Wait, I'm confused.
So are we.
you just showed up on our doorstep.
Well, yeah, because I was told to come see if you were actually still on the island or not. Because the guy showed up earlier and said that you were gone, and then when Medusa was after he left and she was getting kind of pissed, then Fiber told her that y'all were here, and so she sent me to come see if y'all were here, and you are here. So you somehow convince them that you're gone, right? What'd you do?
We didn't do anything.
All right, look, you don't have to tell me. That's fine. Regardless, I do need to ask you all to come with me because you do need to settle things with the boss because she needs proof that y'all are still here. Otherwise, she's not happy at the thought of you potentially having skipped town without concluding business with her.
Fair enough. Lead the way.
Okay,
All right.
we'll
As you
follow.
hobble.
I use my sword
So,
so we can hobble.
he and this is the same guy who gave you all a ride the other day, so he's gonna bring you over to the same vehicle. Y'all hop in. It takes probably about an hour or so in total to get like it's probably slower than taking public transit just because the transit here is, coded into it's functionally it's quasi fast travel because it's a part of the island in a way. And you don't have to deal with traffic. Like it's just the transit is it just consistently goes at the paces that it goes. So it's actually a little long. You can make small talk with the guy if you want to, or not really bother. It doesn't particularly matter. But either way, after, like I said, roughly an hour or so, y'all pull up in the parking lot of the Wires warehouse, and as you come through the door, you see, and I don't have her name on her here because I hadn't given her name to you the last time you were here. You see Medusa and Fiber hanging out on the couch with Medusa. Like when you first like see her and the door opens, she looks like agitated and like she's like thoughtful about something, and like as the door is opening, her eyes like arch up and she sees the three of you walking in and she just starts laughing hysterically.
So confused.
If nobody says anything, she'll probably laugh for a good like 20-30 seconds or so, before she sort of like manages to calm down, and she actually reaches over and like hugs Fiber, and is like, "Thank you for helping with this." And I'm gonna assume y'all have kind of just like moved forward a bit in that time, and she looks at y'all. She says, "All right, well, this
Right.
has been a hell of a morning. I'm glad to see all of you, and you have certainly given me the entertainment I hoped for, but I would love to know how you did it, especially without me figuring it out, because I thought I was keeping a pretty good eye on you."
Well, we also would like to know how they decided to say that we just disappeared.
Wait, what do you mean you want to know? How can you? They said that they had footage of you leaving the island.
We definitely never left the island.
Huh. Okay. All right. I'm confused now. This is still funny, but now I'm confused. What? Okay, so then tell me what have you been doing the last couple days? Like what have you learned? I found out this morning that my girl here went and chatted with you about something, but she promised y'all not to talk about it, but she did assure me that you were here and had not skipped town, and she was pretty confident that you were sticking to your word. So, I'm glad for that. But yeah, I would like to know what you've been up to the last couple of days. Like I've been generally keeping track of your movements, but I don't know the necessarily the things that you have been doing or discovering in those places that you have been. You tell me what you've been up to, and I'll tell you what I know from my meeting this morning.
Um, well, we went out
Also,
to.
looking good. If you need to do something about that, If you're not liking the bald look, we can hook you up. You can become an honorary member. As she sort of gestures to everybody else in the room.
She kind of like scratch her head. It's like, give me a couple days. Hair will start growing in. But regardless,
Well, I guess that makes sense considering you didn't have a face 3 days ago.
we went out to go find the others of, well, kind of directing herself to herself. We found them. One of them is active. Two of them were not active. I could not reactivate them. In fact, it's probably impossible to reactivate them as they were before.
As you say this, she kind of looks over to the side a little bit, like she's maybe now having some idea of what you discussed with her.
Uh,
She
in
doesn't
all,
say anything. She just lets you continue, but it's a very visible, like, side eye.
I, in all honesty, did not want to return them back to the biomancers, so I tried to see if I could activate them myself. We went back to uh their storage thing where I was found. Their data is corrupted, so I don't have access to them. So yeah, we never left, so I don't know who said that or why they said that. In fact, they're probably going to be even more confused when they find out that we attacked that storage facility again. So, well, attacked in quotes.
And what did you do yesterday?
Uh,
Anything?
I assume we out of character. We slept basically all day, right?
Yeah, you kind of just hung out, like, talked about stuff, tried to make plans for,
Yeah,
what you
just
wanted to
Yeah.
discuss, that kind of thing.
Just resting.
she thinks for a second, trying to like figure out how people would do words properly. Uh, I believe the phrase is, "We licked our wounds," so to speak, and then she's gonna stand sideways, and Rain is just, how is Rain standing up like with a sword? Or
Yeah, I've got like a sword as a walking stick, like leaning on it.
so we didn't do anything yesterday.
Kind of handy having a magic sword.
Huh. And you there, the broken-legged guy. You
It's pretty
had
close.
you had some deal with Biomancer that you were interested in following up on, right?
Ryan
Remind
thinks
me
for a
what that
second.
was again, because I might know what happened, and if so, this is the funniest fucking thing I've heard in years.
Ryan thinks for a second, and then looks up to Medusa and goes, "Wait, 1 second, I lost it." Ah, there we go. What did they see us leaving the island, or just me?
She gets a really big smile as you ask that question. I think they might have just seen you.
That means he's not here anymore. Then he kind of just says to himself,
So, here's what I learned this morning when a representative of the company came and informed me that we were no longer under any degree of suspicion or obligation to clear ourselves thereof, because the person they suspected to be the original thief returned to the scene of the crime for some reason and destroyed their security bots, but was caught on footage doing so. Then having determined the identity of the thief, they used their network and their resources on the island and were able to find footage early yesterday morning of him leaving the island by boat, and concluded that he has gone and either, somehow disposed of, or, is otherwise transporting the stolen property. So I think you idiots going back and double checking and getting caught actually saved your asses. And, like after that, she basically just sits there chuckling for a minute as she's like, sort of waits for one of y'all to say something.
I mean, Umbra is confused. Why? Is just confused. Does not compute. Let's just say.
Okay,
Just stands there thinking.
and Gavril's just gonna question, hey, didn't we get what? Didn't we do what you wanted? Didn't we get that done?
Oh yeah, no, you
Our
absolutely,
job is done.
yeah, no, you all did great. I mean, you helped out a colleague of mine, putting him somewhat in my debt, which I'm always a big fan of, and you managed to, get the company off of your back and mine. Well, the company is off of our collective backs in one way or another, and I got plenty of entertainment out of the whole ordeal with this being. Oh my God. You went back to the scene of the crime and got caught, and yeah, no, I mean, this is the most entertainment I've had in quite a while. So yeah, no, you've more than fulfilled your end of the bargain. Now the problem is, I know that one of the things that you, gesturing at Rain, had asked for was, at the conclusion of this, you wanted to have a chat with the company rep. I think doing
No,
that
no.
now might not work out quite so well for you, unfortunately.
It just looks frustrated.
Well, can I just say that Gavril kind of looks displeased the way she put that. We went back to the scene of the crime, and he folds his arms.
Um, let me do. Oh, they changed the interface a bit. She sees that, and she, kind of raises her eyebrow a little bit, and like isn't necessarily. She can tell that you're a bit upset about something, but she doesn't know exactly why. But she's not going to worry too much about it, to be perfectly honest.
Okay, that's fine.
Like if you want to bring it up, she will respond, but otherwise she's, kind of just noticed, but she's otherwise going to be like, something, I don't know.
No, but she said we returned back to the scene of the crime, and then Gavril does some thinking. He thinks back over it, and yeah, that's kind of what we done. So I guess he can't say anything. So he just remains silent.
Medusa, but the one. Do you perhaps have the footage that they have of me?
I
Well,
do, in
whoever's.
fact. I
Did it
do.
show
He
where I was
he
going,
showed
or
the footage to us. There wasn't anything specifically notable about it. It looked a lot like you, maybe a little more tired, more stern, something like that. I don't know, little more serious, but looked otherwise quite a lot like you. He was getting on to one of the passenger boats down in the shipyard. You know, since I'm not able to give you a meeting with the guy anymore, I can try and figure out where that ship was going if that sort of
I was
helps you
about to
out a
ask
little
about
bit.
that.
Yeah,
That
that
would
shouldn't
be
be too hard. She gestures at the guy over here, next to the couch, and he goes upstairs and sort of disappears for a little bit. And then I guess if nobody if nobody says or does anything for a little while, he does eventually come back.
I just wait.
He does eventually come back, and I need to go back to here. So let's see. Oh, actually, I should just move all of us to here. That's probably more efficient. All right. Why is the background on that absolutely impossible to see? Okay. So which ones would it be? It would
It goes on the Square Island.
be. uh, okay. So yeah, he was leaving from one of the shipyards that was on the northern end of the island. It seemed like it was first going to be wait, this is wrong button. Oh, okay, wrong button. It was first going to be going over to Island 6, which is I think let me pull up the right name for it because I think I'm about to say the wrong name. Yeah, the Badlands, not the Land of Bones. I was going to say the wrong thing. So it's first going to stop on the Badlands. It will then continue on to Neo Oikot, and from there it travels down around and goes to a port on the northern edge of Evermore. And then it comes down to actually the Badlands and then goes back. So that's the route that ship regularly takes. So he's probably going to one of those 4 islands.
So my
They
query is,
unfortunately like the ticket they were able to confirm that someone with your name and appearance did purchase a ticket, but the ticket is just for passage on the ship and people can get off wherever they want. So they can't really give you anything more than that.
then I guess I'll have to search all of them.
All right. So I guess after after giving you that information, Medusa will basically be she'll ask you guys okay, so what's next for you?
Well, I would like to go and pursue my quarry, but we do have unfinished business here.
Yeah, would you all mind filling me in a little bit more on the details of that business? You mentioned that you found the other folks who are like you, as she gestures at Umbra, but a couple of them you don't think can be activated or something to that effect.
Correct.
Can you give me a little more detail on that? I'm assuming that's what her little excursion yesterday was about, considering that's the kind of thing that she specializes in. But I don't know the details myself, and I'm curious.
Two of them are missing important data, and because they are missing that data, they cannot be activated. And the
Okay,
data
so they
where
can't
we would get
even turn on.
yes, when we went back to the scene of the crime, I was hoping to get that data, but it was either corrupted or deleted.
That makes sense. That would explain why you would go back. Okay, I understand. So corrupted or deleted is, do you mean like you don't know what happened, or
No, I don't.
okay. So I guess what is your plan now then? You've got, you've successfully got them off your back. I mean, whether you did it or not, they are off your back, and they're likely not going to be looking here on the island for, you and your fellows. But like, he seems like he, is wanting to go chase down this copy of himself, but you didn't want to turn those folks over to the company you mentioned, so I'm also guessing you're hesitant to just leave them alone as well.
Somewhat, yes.
Well, talk to me. Don't you know your friendly neighborhood snake lady can help out with a few things?
Hmm. I had a character. Do not know what I want to do.
I mean, she'll after a bit of silence, she'll kind of put her hands up and be like, "Look, I can't force you to do business with me, but I'm let's say interested in all of this now, having gotten the entertainment that I sought out of it and having a little bit of a personal stake. And y'all are kind of funny. Like, I'm willing to help you out at least a little bit. Like, I'm not, I run an organization here. I run a business in a way. Like, I'm not saying that I'm willing to do charity work, but I am someone. I'm a woman of means and influence on, this floor of the island, if nothing else, and someone who's, I would say, nice to have as a friend, as she, is kind of gesturing out in ways that she probably, like, you would guess, probably doesn't intend to be, but still do because of the whole, like, biker chick snake woman vibe come off as kind of menacing. She's like, but I am interested in discussing what I might be able to do for you and what you might be able to do for me in the future. Well, it seems perhaps amongst yourselves you maybe need to make some decisions first.
I think we could use a little bit of time. Rain finally speaks
That's
up.
fine. I mean, I'm not under any pressure anymore, therefore I have no reason to apply pressure to y'all. So take all the time that you need.
Yeah.
Like, if you
Mhm.
wanna go back and lick your wounds, as you were saying, I can maybe recommend a doc or two that can help patch that leg up a little bit faster than just sleeping it off or something like that.
That would be appreciated, but I'm not sure we have quite a lot right now.
I suppose that makes sense. Between but between one of you being let's say an acquisitions specialist living in living in a container apartment, one of you being a synthetic individual who only just woke up with nothing to her name, and the other being an individual of questionable and possibly split identity, I could see how you might be somewhat lacking in funds. It seems as though you found a place to stay for the moment. Is that accurate?
I'd say so.
Yeah.
Alright. Well, here. Tell you what, as a show of good faith, I'll have somebody send over a doctor and a decent dinner from a Thai place that I like here in town. And you can rest for a little bit, get that leg tended to, figure out what you want to do next, and then come come have a talk with Mama Dusa and let her figure out what she can do for you. I'm never going to use that phrase again. I've never called
Yeah.
myself that. I've never called
Yeah.
myself that. It just felt like it would be funny to try. No, it doesn't feel funny to
Yeah.
try. You are not my children. Nobody here heard that. If anybody calls me that here again, I swear I will short circuit you. We're good. You can be going now.
Well, yeah. I was gonna comment, but I didn't.
All right. So do y'all want to go back to the motel? Gavril, do you want at some point to go back to your own home? Do you guys have any reason you would also want to go there? Etc. Where would you like to go next?
I mean, I need to
Um,
tell Stella, I guess, he's not being looked for anymore, I guess.
Yeah, fair.
Good idea.
All right. So
yeah.
go back to the
Ryan,
motel first, at least.
Yeah.
Ryan is very curious about the price of those tickets.
Well, well, I would like to. It's not a priority, but I would like to go back to my apartment to see if everything's still there. Because
Yeah, I
it's
mean,
supposed to be.
you guys would be fairly close, like from like when you're leaving Medusa's place, so maybe stopping by there first would make sense since you're already there.
Okay.
But yeah, everything is in good condition. If you had to guess, the fact that the last time you were seen was with a was like a local gang member taking you away, people probably didn't want to like risk messing with your stuff in case you were like, gang affiliated or something like that.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
everything seems to be fine. Like you have a little trick that you use to make sure you can check whether the lock has been disturbed or anything, and it doesn't seem as though anybody has tried to break in the last few days.
Okay. Okay.
Unfortunately, your secret cheese stash has gotten a little bit too funky from staying out too long. You're probably going to have to get rid of it.
Okay. Yeah. I smell it from here, so Cavill will close his nostrils and go and take that cheese out with him. Just jumping on the street or something.
Brutal.
Just starts throwing it at random passerbys.
Yeah. It's not in my house anymore. That's okay. It's
Not my
not
problem.
it's not smelling up the joint.
Yeah. Is there anything else that you need to do or get while you're there?
Um Yeah, actually, maybe I might want. I think I remember I have a secret stash of bolts for my crossbow somewhere, and
Yeah.
he waits until everyone looks away to go and get them.
Yeah, like, are you, so you're explicitly trying to wait until when the party isn't paying attention?
Yeah,
I guess in
or
that case,
when they all leave, he'll go
oh
back
yeah, I
and
mean, you can also just like tell them like, hey, you guys head out. I'm gonna grab some stuff and then I'll get in the car or something like that.
yeah, I'll see that. Yeah, go ahead and I'll just grab one thing. Grab a few things,
Yeah, whatever you need.
and I grab a few extra bolts.
Yeah, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, I'm not really worried about, about like, saying, "Oh, you're gonna run out of crossbow bolts," or like, if your crossbow is your
Oh,
main weapon, I'm gonna assume that you have plenty of bolts. So I'm just gonna put you
okay.
up to 100 bolts on your sheet now, so you don't really have to worry in the future. Because I just noticed it was at 5, and I'm like, that's way too low. I'm not having you just have 5 bolts.
Well, that's what the PDF said.
Oh
I
yeah,
only
no,
get
I
5.
I fully understand. That's how they do it for starter gear and all that. But yeah, no, we're gonna say yeah, you picked up your bolt stash and now you've got a full quiver and you won't have to worry about it in the future.
Okay, now let's head off.
All
And
right. So you'll go back to the motel. Let me bring him in, send him away. Yeah. And I guess we'll also bring Bernie out too.
Come a little bit closer.
Yeah, no worries. I was just spreading you guys out a smidge was all.
Yeah.
Uh, I guess any of you leading with anything? Because Evik, you were specifically had mentioned wanting to talk to Stella. So
I will basically just tell him that, well, I have good news, and yeah, just good news, I guess. The 4 of us are no longer being looked for.
that is good news, but I also find it strange.
Agreed.
Why have they lost interest?
I unsure of the details there's at Rain. But apparently, uh, they think that pointing at Rain either took us, disposed of us, and was seen leaving the island. So they assume we are no longer here on this island.
Why would they think he had left the island? He's been here the entire time. I would have thought that would be easy to verify if they were looking for such information.
Uh, there is footage of him leaving the island. Although, even though he is still here, I'm extremely uncertain as to what is happening. He has not told us anything.
I think he hasn't he? Am I wrong about that? It's been quite a while. Maybe not like today, but I thought that
Well,
previously he had explained a little bit about what, like, that he was looking for another him. Am I wrong about
I
that?
think I
Have you been keep?
explained why I was going after Biotermancer.
Oh, maybe you had just been saying you were going after them. Okay.
That's what I thought.
Okay, my bad. For some reason, I thought that he had said it at some point. Ignore me. The DM is dumb.
I'm trying to think back.
DM stands for dumb man.
You're fine, seriously.
Uh,
Well, Stella, either way, Stella will kind of shrug and be like, well, regardless of why they believe it has happened, I must say that I am glad for it. In that case, he turns to, like, walks over a little bit and turns to Bernie. Would we be able to contract with that friend of yours, as we had discussed with her previously? He doesn't necessarily. No, I guess he was there. Like he knows that she recognized y'all. So never mind. He could address that to you guys as well. I forgot. And in my mind, he just knew that she was his friend and not the rest of it. But yeah. So yeah. He asks. Well, in that case, should we attempt to secure the services of the woman who was here the other day?
Now, out of character, I want to just make sure of something before I go any further with this.
Yeah.
Just so I understand what she said to us last time. Without without the data from Biomancer directly, which there's no way in hell we're gonna get.
Almost
Uh,
certainly. Yeah.
The only way to reactivate them is to give them parts of our data to get them moving again, right? Like copies of our data.
Yeah, basically she would take a look at what code they have and what code you guys have at like base level architecture, ignoring any personality like or knowledge data stuff. And she would figure out what is missing from them, like what didn't get installed or got corrupted or whatever, and try and essentially rebuild that code for them to get them to the point where they're functional. She can do that, and I think if I recall properly, she said that would be like 5,000 coins. And then she can also, write, like complete personality stuff for them that is even more expensive and would, if you were wanting to give them a specific personality, it would probably be because, you were trying to give them a recreation of their original, but you don't really know that.
Yeah.
So otherwise, it would, if you got her to do that, they would be able to turn on in a state that is similar to the two of you, but like the two of you had at least partial personality data, but they like so, and it didn't get fully deleted like it did for them. So, they will be more of like truly blank slates compared to the two of, to Stella and Umbra, who actually had something to go off of as they were developing, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Now, there is an issue. We have no money.
Will admit I had been hoping that perhaps your friends were affluent.
They are not.
no,
No offense,
nope.
looking to the two of you.
Well,
Well,
is it?
well, do you want me to go scrounging around the streets for some coin?
You're gonna to find
Because I can do that.
5,000.
Well, no, it'd probably be like one coin. Like money, people just don't leave money in the streets anymore.
This is very true. That was perfect, Kaz. That was hilarious.
Beautiful.
Um, Well, Stella will say, well, is there like any way that we could earn a large quantity of funds quickly? I don't know about these sorts of things, but and he would kind of like look at Bernie, Gavril, and Rain, and all of whom would be probably be like, that kind of cash, not that quick. And he's like, well, would it be maybe it would be possible for us to strike some sort of a deal or something like that, such as the one that you originally had with her. Maybe you don't have to we won't have to pay for the pay for the service, but maybe there's some other way that we can make it worth their while.
Well, I just have 9 coins on me right now. And do you know, DM,
Oh,
do you know how?
I am actually gonna give you an extra 10 coins, Kaz. We're gonna say that those were in the same drawer where you hid your crossbow bolts. Because you guys do
Okay.
need to have at least a little bit of money, and Rain and Umbra have literally none. So I need you guys to have like some quantity of funds.
Oh, you're after
Okay.
waking
It's
up and
not a
not having
lot,
one.
but it's non-zero.
And my next question is, how much would your tech salvage sell for?
That's a good question. Let me look it up.
Not 5,000.
25 coins.
Oh, well, that's
Yeah,
all I have on me
yeah.
that we can
I guess
generate
we'll
money
have to
with.
go back and make a deal with her. And probably Rain, I assume, wants to leave the island as soon as possible, right?
As soon as we can.
We could attempt to establish honest careers as workers here on the island and slowly accumulate and pool our funds over time. I'm sure that it couldn't take that long with 4 of us working, right? Bernie is like, he'll sort of gesture like, there's a reason that a lot of folks live the way that this guy does, like scrounging around for what they can get, or like people like me do, joining up with the groups and the gangs and such, because they're
Yeah.
these places ain't exactly great for making an honest living, at least not on these lower. Well, I guess more not on these middle floors. And
I'm
without
I'm
having a little bit of money to start with, you're not going to be able to get, an apartment or nice enough clothes or anything like that to get a job on one of the fancier floors. Okay, sorry, I'm done, Kaz. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh, that's okay. Was just gonna say, like, I'm at the I'm at the bottom of the totem pole in in society.
Yeah, I mean, most of us are around here, to be perfectly honest. That's yeah, that's
From the
why
sounds
things
of
are how they
things,
are.
from the sounds of things, you'd have a better time if you just go and killing a rich person.
I mean, that's in the older worlds that might have worked, but it's not quite how things go as much nowadays.
Well, I
So
guess our only option is to see what favor, I guess, we could do for them to fix them. Because we definitely will not have. It will take too long otherwise.
All right.
Seems like it.
And as time has been passing and y'all have chatted, eventually, as was mentioned earlier, someone will show up, and there will be a doctor and also some dinner with them. They, didn't really know what to order, so there's actually kind of like a ridiculous quantity of food. Shells didn't know how many people were here, like just knew like there were some other people. So they got there's how many total? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, counting Bernie's girlfriend. And there's enough food for like 10 people. So everybody has more than either, more than enough to be satisfied, or, if there's certain things that people don't like, they can eat around them either way. But and so I'm going to give you the choice here, Duck, because you have two injuries. You have the broken leg and you have the reduced max HP. The doctor can fix one of them. The other, you're gonna have to wait. Either you will have to get treatment for, or you have to wait. Like have some downtime in game for it to heal. But you can
Well,
pick which one you want to fix.
the max HP would have been healed first anyway, so let's fix the leg.
All right. So you are no longer snail.
I'm no longer a snail. I'm gonna stop using my sword as a walking stick and then manifest to be cool again.
Well, let's not get carried away. I don't know about being cool, but
Yeah, I gotta act cool and then immediately get in the face.
immediately get crit.
Don't worry, guys. I can use my HP to re-roll and hit a 1 again.
Yeah, it was a little bit of an fight, as I recall. I also, if I remember right, I think you were the only one who got hit. You just got hit repeatedly.
This is the life of a tank? Question mark.
God, I hate that my brain was immediately like, oh, that's probably the name of an isekai. This is the life of a tank. I get hit so nobody else does or something, because they have to have 37 words for the title, otherwise it's legally not an isekai. I think that's been established somewhere in statute.
That time I was reincarnated as a tank. I got hit in and out of combat because I had a harem.
Yeah, exactly. Alright, anyway, my dumbass can shut up now. But yeah, otherwise, I figure it would, probably the rest of the day y'all can sort of hang out and collect yourselves, eat plenty of food, what have you, and then if you want to, we can do the next day, go back, and have a chat. So let's move you over. And do you want Stella to come along? Because he can, or he can stay here.
They're currently inoperable, so I would like someone to be protecting them that's not Bernie.
Okay, I was gonna say, well, Bernie will still be there. Damn, you really
That's gonna
don't
look a
like him.
real.
I guess I did a good job of making him an unlikable idiot, because you guys really don't like him. That was the goal. It was just maybe more successful than I expected.
How Umbra just has been told that he is extremely useless and cannot do anything, and has just stuck with that the entire time and still believes it.
Poor guy. Alright. Well, let's go back, and I will uncripple your leg on this map too. And we'll actually say that because you're so happy for being able to walk properly again, you have actually, walked slightly at the head of the group this time. She would, she would take note of, oh, I see you got walking stick with, and she's doing the world's biggest air quotes right now.
He manifests the sword in his hand, shrugs, and then makes it disappear again.
All right. Well, I'm guessing that if you've come back to have a chat again, you've had some amount of time to figure things out amongst yourselves. So, tell me, what can I do for you? If anything, the answer doesn't have to be anything.
How about
Again,
nothing?
I'm not trying to force or trick you into anything. I'm just willing to lend a hand.
We have come to bargain.
I'm gonna say, as you've guessed the last time we met, we do not have any funds to ask you of this, but I would like.
Oh yeah, no, y'all seem broke as hell.
I would like my two siblings, and she puts in quotes as well, reactivated at least.
Yeah, that's not too surprising. That makes sense. She kind of turns aside and says, "Hey, Hunt, how much did you tell him that you would charge for that?" She's like, like I figure about $5,000 should cover it." She's like, "Okay, yeah, that seems pretty reasonable." Yeah, I can lend you $5,000. I can do that. What are you interested in as far as terms of repayment? What are your timelines, and what's the guarantee that I get my money? Or did you have a different idea in mind?
Well, this would be mostly on me, not either of them, right? So
I mean, that's kind of up to y'all. That depends how much is this you, and how much are y'all a group at this point?
We spend some.
Because,
How?
I mean, realistically, right now, we don't necessarily know whether, okay, after this, is Rain just gonna, is he gonna go do his own thing? Or are y'all gonna go with him? We haven't necessarily figured those things out. So
Still
that
pending.
kind of helps to, I guess if we had, and that's probably on me, I probably should have pushed you guys to discuss that stuff. But, if we figure that out first, that, would make it a little easier to know, is this you taking on this obligation, as you, Evic, or is it the group?
Rents a little
Okay.
adventure. He goes out and proceeds to stare at people as things happen.
um
Well, how much in-game time have the three of us been together? Like going on to the
This would
Evic.
be like the 5th day.
Okay.
Nearly a week.
Okay.
um
So I
unless
guess,
the
yeah,
other
maybe let's retroactively, let's actually say we're back on the day before, and y'all are figuring out, okay, before going to talk to her tomorrow, what is everyone, each of your individual plans?
uh
And I guess one thing I will throw as a potential bone here from the DM perspective of, this was originally conceived as something that could, we could potentially drop at some point if we needed to, like if Core came back, or like Ebic if you're wanting to run Gundam at some point or something. So, like, we could say that, y'all are doing different stuff or what have you, and like, leave it here or something, either temporarily or permanently. Like, I don't know where that sort of stuff is at, like with that next game you're working on, and what you,
It
if
is.
you
It
guys.
is. It's not ready. I'll tell you that
Okay,
much.
okay, fair enough. I just wanted to throw the option out there because I wasn't sure. But yeah, so then I guess either in or out of game, just kind of have to figure out what do you guys want to do next. And I can also bring us back to the world map, because I guess I can just freehand. So roughly like here to here to here. Apparently, it's doing some sort of filled thing and not straight lines. Whatever, I don't care. Um, that's roughly the path of the ship, just for purposes
So I
of
need to go to
discussion or
number
anything like
6.
that. Yeah, I mean
Okay,
it's as likely as any of the others.
so we start on Island 8.
Yes, you start on 8. And it'll be like the full circuit of this boat. I guess that's also relevant. I should have mentioned that before. It takes a few weeks for it to complete this circuit. So you will have, like, there will be a period of downtime between now and when you will have the opportunity to leave the island, essentially. So, and you will also, or from Rain's perspective, I guess he will essentially be at least a week behind as well
Yeah. So as soon as the
for
boat comes
for
back,
whatever
he'll want
that's
to
worth.
be hopping on at the very least. So you need the funds for that.
Yeah, and it's like, I would say that you guys can do stuff during downtime to earn money as well. Like, I think that's, like in D&D they have stuff like that, like using your, like if you have applicable skills, you can try and make money. Like, we know that Gavril's a scavenger who knows the island well and get stuff. Like, you guys can potentially do stuff for the gangs or what have you. So, like, basically I'll say, like, you will have the ability to earn enough for everybody's tickets over the course of the next couple weeks. And like, there's a chance that you'll be able to make a little bit more than that, but I will not guarantee it. It'll depend on rolls and stuff.
We're starting to work out what we're doing with the biodroids.
Umbra was gonna, because she wants them to be as activated as soon as possible, was going to ask her if there was anything she needed done that could compensate for that.
Do something with the equivalent of 5k.
Yeah.
I will tell you, over the course of the next few weeks, no. Because y'all are low level characters, you won't be able to make that much money in that short of a time. Like, you will need to agree to something,
Oh
but
yeah, yeah.
I'm trying to leave it free form.
No, that's what you're saying. Like we'll agree to do something for her in order to make up for the 5k.
Yeah, like essentially, like what I'll to simplify it, what I'll say is that I think like basically what I'll do is if we do decide that y'all are all going on the adventure, which is tacitly the assumption that I as the DM would tend to make, then I will guarantee that whatever you guys do over the course of the downtime the next couple weeks will give you enough money for everybody to get a ticket. You'll have a chance, like I said, to earn a little bit more than that, but it'll be like on the order of 10 to 20 gold a person. So it will, and you'll be spending that time doing stuff, for the sake of getting the money for the boat fare. So you won't really be able to dedicate any of that time to whatever deal you end up working out.
Yeah. Umber would ask Rain, why are you searching for this, I assume, other you during that time?
Also, my cat has, I think, committed a war crime, so I need to mute and step away for a couple minutes. Sorry. You guys can talk. I'll have my headset on and be able to listen, but I won't be able to say anything for a minute.
He was the last thing I saw after I woke up. The only clue I may have had to what happened. The process of whatever Biomancer did has sapped me of my strength.
So did they, like, searching through words to see if she can figure out what to say, clone you, I guess?
I would say that's the most likely thing. Whatever they did without my consent, and did it after I fell unconscious during guard duty.
Umbra would definitely like to know more about this Biomancer company, and if this other version of you has answers that we don't have to go directly to HQ for, she'd be willing to go at the very least to find this guy. But her first and most priority is trying to get the other two online so that they're movable and not stuck in one place.
We could see a situation where we could find clues in Biomancer HQ or somewhere else, and on the route of activating the biodroids. So while pursuing himself is probably his main priority, he'd probably be willing to stick behind for a little bit longer in order to. Well, this can't really stick around longer because it'll be another 2 weeks or something, wouldn't it? But do what he could to help out with their situation.
Yeah, now Umbra has to think of what kind of deal she wants to make if she does leave the island, though. Hmm.
Plus, we also have to decide what we're doing with Medusa. If we're not able to do the thing that we may make deal with her to do.
Yeah.
The bio threat has been contained.
Right.
What does Gavro want to do, Kaz? Because you really don't have any. As far as I know, your character doesn't really have any interest in any of our situations, as far as I'm aware.
Not really any stake in it.
Yeah.
I mean, I've had a guess or an idea for a while, which was just that maybe if nothing else, out of something akin to boredom, because like I doubt, he's probably never been off the island before or what have you, and if he's just kind of living as a scavenger consistently and doing his own thing, maybe he's interested in going and seeing something different.
Adventure.
Yeah, adventure. Yeah.
Adventure is out there, to quote my favorite movie. Up is so good. I haven't seen it in a few years. I need to rewatch it. It's been too long. I love that movie. I
Don't think
cry
I've actually
literally every time I
seen
watch
it.
it. Oh, wait, really? You've never seen Up?
I haven't actually seen Up.
Oh, I genuinely, like, since the first time I saw it as a fucking teenager or whenever it came out, like, it has been my favorite movie. Like the only one that I would say, depending on the day, I might put a little bit above it would be Blade Runner 2049. But in
Fair.
general, I feel pretty comfortable saying that Up is my favorite movie. And I would say I usually cry at least twice each time I watch it. So it's definitely a recommend from me.
Oh yeah. If I ever get the option, well, if I get the opportunity in the future, sure.
Yeah.
It's
I have
a
watched Up.
it's a Disney Pixar movie, so if you have access to Disney Plus through, anyone else or piracy or what have you,
It's a very typical situation
available
with
on
me
there.
where I know of it, I kind of get the premise, but I've just never seen it.
Yeah. Right, I just you mentioned, if you got the chance, I was just, saying if it
Yeah.
is on Disney Plus, if that's something you have access to and decide you want to watch someday.
Yeah.
That's all. Anyway, I feel like I got us
Yeah.
real derailed there. Sorry.
Can I go back to Medusa here? What kind of deal could we strike if we had to leave the island? Because we have, if I want to, if I want to leave, because I don't want to leave them alone, but I also want to follow this person who might know more about, maybe if we could, it possibly, if this guy might have know where those deleted memories are, if I wanted them at all as well, but I, because I definitely don't think she would like me just saying, "Yeah, we'll make this deal," and then I leave the fucking island.
Well, I mean, actually, she was kind of assuming that would be part of it. So, yeah, so like she will say like, "No, actually, I was kind of guessing that if you end up following along with him chasing himself, that you would probably be leaving for at least some time, but you also seem, let's say, sufficiently honest in your concern about these others that I'm really not worried about you breaking any sort of a deal that we set. I'm willing to trust you, in other words."
Hmm. Yeah.
And if it would make you feel better, because I mean, honestly, I'm kind of figuring it'll be necessary for some amount of time at least anyway. They can stay here with us. Like, we've got plenty of space in the warehouse, and if Fiber is going to be needing to analyze, one of these anyway, and then rebuild like whole essentially brain architecture for these folks, like that takes quite a while, so they're going to have to be here for quite some time anyway. So like if you're worried about like where they're going to be or anything like that, like they'll be plenty safe here. Like I mean, we might put them to some amount of work, but it's not going to be anything like you know, problematic. It would maybe be like helping clean up around the warehouse and stuff like that, just to sort of help earn their keep a little bit, but wouldn't get them involved in anything that they wouldn't, have the ability to consent to, let's say, if they're not fully activated individuals.
Okay. Right, DM. This is the deal I'm gonna attempt to make with her. Because I was thinking
All right.
about this.
Yeah, lay it on me.
If they're gonna have to stay, because how long would that take? Like probably like a month or something for them to get that to work, or
Yeah, so you can ask about that, and it would be I would say it'll take at least a couple weeks to analyze either your or Stella's architecture, and then probably about a week to compare with their code to figure out what are the necessary pieces to port over, what are the things not to make sure that she's not copying personality data, that sort of thing. And then probably at least a couple of weeks to essentially write the new code to go in there. So it'll probably, take over a month to get them to the point where they can turn on, where the lights will be on, but still have nobody home.
got it. So we still have to make some money to get tickets to go to where we're going. So,
I mean, I can give you some odd jobs to do if that's a concern.
that was out of character, but sure, yes. Sorry.
Oh, fair. Sorry. I
So
I just made the assumption. That's my bad.
yeah, no, that's fine. That's my fault. So the deal I will make with her is, I'll bring them here because we'll need to anyways. If she can keep them safe and no harm comes to them, um, she will attempt to, while she is out, gather the funds needed if possible. If Stella and them want to help pay off that debt as well, they're free to. I'll have to ask them about that. But if they happen to find any information about biomass stuff, she could also sell that to them if they would be interested in that.
Ooh, that would be interesting. I'm always down for dirt on any of the big corps. That can be useful leverage to have. All right. What would be the time frame that you're thinking of for this repayment?
How long would it take to travel between the 4 islands that where this guy is going that we were told about?
So, like I said, it takes like around 3 weeks or so for the boat to make the complete trip. And like there would be other ways to get between, like this isn't the only boat that goes between islands, obviously, considering that it only
Yeah.
goes to these specific islands, but like that particular one, it makes that trip in a little over it's about 3 weeks at sea and then a couple days of rest at the harbor as they like do repairs and stuff like that. So like roughly once a month or so it does a full trip. Slightly more frequently, but only slightly.
And that's not included in us trying to search for this guy, trying to find
Correct.
him as
That
well.
that is purely boat travel time.
Would be a month at least.
If you were just using that boat. But again, like, you could, if like let's say you said, all right, I think he's at Neo Oikot, so we're gonna actually get a different boat and go straight there, and you find him and then get a boat straight back. You might be able to do that whole thing in 3 weeks if you find him quickly and get all of your answers and everything magically works and Santa Claus shows up and tells you good job. Like
Yeah.
it definitely could happen for real.
Um.
Santa's
But
welcome.
otherwise, yes, it's likely to. It would probably be like, let's say, if if you just ended up having to follow this path and check out, those 3 islands, you would guess it might take you, at least a couple of months. And
Yeah, I'm just trying to think of how many
there's
I
no
want to.
guarantee that he's just going between those islands or something. Like, for all you know, he's going to Neo Oikot so that he can catch a connecting ship over to I think that's the sport one. I forget which one it is, because the connecting one from there goes down to Mama, so like, who knows really where it will actually take you. You just know for right now that
Um,
that's your best lead.
how about we say, because this is the number that keeps going off in my head, 9 months.
9 months. All right. On a 5,000 gold loan with 9 months, I think at a fair interest rate. If you pay it back early, then the amount will be lower. But if you wait the full 9 months, then I'm gonna need a total of 9K.
God, I want to haggle so bad, but I don't know if I can do it against her.
Yeah, I mean, you can try. I'm always
what
down for
what
trying.
what would that be roll wise?
Um, it would kind of depend on how you were going about it. If you tell me how you want to do it, I can tell you. It would be one of a couple things, but I would need to pick which one.
Um, because it was originally 5. God, I want to make it low, but I'm trying to think of how lower, but I don't know how much lower I want to make it. How much interest is 9K from on top of that?
It would be 4K in interest, which means over 9 months it accumulated 80% of the principal.
Okay, let me do some quick math here that she would be able to do way faster than me. Uh,
Yeah, you're fine.
uh,
Oh, and I should move us back to here. My bad.
Umbra thinks, doing several calculations in her head, uh, she will attempt to, I guess, persuade question mark her to bring it down to 50% interest, which would make it 7.5K instead.
Okay. Um. Hmm. How? Well, I guess more what I was kind of asking was what method of argumentation are you going to pursue to convince her? Because that will sort of change what stat you're using. Like, what is your approach to why she should cut you that deal?
Oh, I have an idea, but I just want to think of how I want to word this.
That's fine, and you can workshop it out of game and let me know when you're ready to, say it in game. I'm not gonna be like, "Ha ha, gotcha," or anything like that.
No, I think what how she'll try to say that is like, uh, her because she's going to be let me change to this tool. because she's going to be looking into our minds and stuff, right, to get the information she needs. So she's technically could keep that data for herself if she wants to do anything with it, which was why I would say it would go down to that much.
Okay, so you're basically saying that like the data that they get access to through this is worth that much. Okay. Give me an aura check with a bonus.
Okay. Okay, well that's a successful. What's the bonus for it?
Oh, the bonus is +2. So the bonus meant you needed an 11 instead of a 9,
Okay, 11.
basically.
Yep, that is a success.
Oh,
Then.
also you can swap your picture on the sheet to your like person picture now if you want, since she's got her skin on her.
Yep.
So okay. That's a fair argument. Let's say, and I don't want to speak for you, dear, but I'm going to do so. I'm the boss here, Yell at me later if you need to. She says, sort of turning to Fiverr briefly. Let's say in that case that the cost of services rendered is 4,000 up front. And so therefore that's all that I'm going to lend you, because I think it's fair to say that the data gathered and the experience gained from working on proprietary and previously not seen nor tinkered with biomancer androids is certainly worth about $1,000. So yeah, I will make you that deal. Now, I do have an addendum that I would like to add to it, which is, having seen the path that ship has potentially chartered, if you end up on either of the nasty islands, being 6 and 5, which the ship admittedly doesn't go to 5, but the first stop is Island 6.
Mm-hmm.
You, this may not be surprising given my appearance, but I'm a big fan of scaly critters and reptiles and snakes and such. If you find me a real cool ass snake, either as a pet or as something that I can, work into my aesthetic or display here in the base or something like that, I'll depending how cool it is, I'll give you a pretty decent knockoff of the price as well. Because having all of my responsibilities here means I don't get to go traveling places like that too often, and it would be nice to have something distinctly, just of a distinctly different vibe that still fits my aesthetic to be able to show off a little bit around here. So view that out of game, view that as a side quest or something if you wish.
Sure.
It's not an obligation, but if you find any cool ass snake stuff, or think you have the opportunity where you might be able to get some.
Let's just go and find a danger noodle and stick it in a bag.
Well, Gavril hates snakes.
Well, that might be a problem
Ah,
then.
He thinks they're all squirmy and slimy and stuff.
Snakes don't have any slime on them. That's
I
amphibians.
know, I
Reptiles
know,
aren't slimy.
I know.
Oh, I guess you said he's thinking that, not saying it out loud. Never mind. She wouldn't.
Yeah, he's
She wouldn't have the opportunity to push back. My bad.
he just makes a disgusted face at the mention of snakes.
She she would notice that, and she would actually smirk a little bit, and she's like, "Oh, I know exactly how to fuck with you in the future now, don't I?"
Uh-oh.
He's never been around snakes. He's only been living in this future city.
Well, I mean, admittedly, you've been
Neon.
talking to one for quite a while.
Okay.
I
I
guess
thought
she's not really,
she's a
a snake, but
she's a robot snake.
well, no, she's mostly organic.
Oh,
Like she has, technology and mods and stuff integrated, but she is primarily biological, not robotic.
okay. Well, well, that's why Gabriel is trying to stay away from her.
Yeah,
Stay the
no, that's totally
farthest
fair.
away. Yeah,
That is totally fair.
Seemed to the end of
like
the room.
that's why he let Rain go ahead of him.
Ray's just happy to walk again.
Yeah, Gabriel gives you a high five. Good for you.
Hell yeah.
All right. Okay. Well, in that case, let's see. So you have essentially agreed to terms of a deal with her. So then I guess what comes next is basically just so y'all will need to, let's say either later that day or within the next couple days probably bring Stella and the other oh God, what was it? Your Umbra name back to the I don't have the names on them. Damn it. It was I know it was oh, Nyx, duh. It was like I remember Super Takeshi. I just couldn't remember the other one that was on theme.
Oh.
It's Stella, Umbra, Nyx, and Super Takeshi. So, probably
Yeah.
probably after wrapping things up here, you'll go back to the hotel, chat with Stella, make sure he's okay with everything, and then let's say tomorrow, you guys can bring him and the others over, get them set up here at the warehouse, and then over the next so it'll be, like I said, about 3 weeks before the ship comes back. So in that amount of time, what do you guys like? Each of you, you choose to do different things, and you can, if you have an idea, great. Otherwise, you can ask me for one. But like, what would you guys like to do over those next few weeks to earn boat fare and potential extra pocket change? And Duck, you will get to heal your max HP back up because you will have enough downtime.
Woohoo.
This way,
Um,
you get to leave the island with both injuries tended and not just one.
I appreciate it.
the only thing I could think Umbra would want to do is something probably tech related because that's the only thing she knows how to do.
Okay. In your mind, is there anything that she's particularly either adept at or comfortable with from a tech perspective? Like, is she, good at hacking? Is she good at, assembling components? Is she, et cetera, et cetera? Like
Uh,
writing code?
that's a good question.
Has really wicked soldering skills?
trying to think of how I want to play her. Come back to me.
Okay, that's fine. Either Kaz or Duck, do you know? I mean, I'm again, I have a guess for what Kaz is gonna say, which is probably doing scavenger stuff, but I want to ask if there's anything different that you guys want to do.
Well, Ryan can call back on his experience as a guard and and potentially work with the gangs or maybe some corporate entity in order to make a bit of money.
I will say if you offer to work for a corp, that will probably risk exposing wait a minute,
Oh,
there's
yeah,
there's
no,
a
true.
version of him on the island here.
I
So
was,
you'll probably want to stay
just
more subtle than that.
yeah, let's stick with the gangs. Yeah,
All right, then yeah, if you're offering to basically be a tough for a few weeks, we can would you want to make that offer to Medusa or to Blaze or both or
try and work with both of them if possible. Seeing
okay.
as I've had runnings with both of them, right? So
Yeah,
maybe
and
right. Yeah,
they are on, overall fairly good terms with each other. At least the bosses are.
yeah.
So, yeah, they would both you actually I will just as a little bit
Roll
of
5 wounds.
no. I just as a little bit of a behind the scenes, I will tell you that one of the main things that you'll end up helping them out with is you get a few scuffles with a gang from another floor that has been sort of trying to establish some territory on this floor. That gang being the Walls, and they're led by a guy
Uh,
named Blockhead.
are they defense oriented, seeing as they're called the walls?
Let's see. Flip a coin for me.
Oh,
Just slash roll 1d2.
a 2.
Okay. The time that you encounter them and basically what you end up fighting, I'm just gonna drag tokens here. A bunch of these, they're actually fairly small. So a bunch of these things led by
So
a guy who looked like that.
nothing like their original
Cool.
counterparts.
Original counterparts, what?
For this
Oh,
thing.
you recognize the sprite. Yeah,
Yeah.
fair. Yes. No, I liked it aesthetically, but I wanted it for a different purpose than what the original serves. Yes. But it was you fought some number of those things that were being directed by, yeah, I guess I deleted them already, by a guy who looked like this, who somebody would have told you. I'll just put it on there real quick. Somebody would have told you that his name is Brick, and it is spelled with no C, just a K, like that. But he did not get directly involved in any of the fighting. It seemed. Actually, go ahead and give me an insight check for Rain or Ryan, whichever pronunciation you prefer.
Ring.
Okay. Okay,
Hmm.
not quite. So, all right, yeah, he stood back and didn't engage directly. It seemed like he was just paying close attention to what was going on, but you're not really sure why. But you were, let's see. I'm gonna say, do. Okay, well, no, I'm gonna reroll because I don't want one. Okay, you were involved in a total of 4 small skirmishes. Um, only one of which did you see him. So go
Hmm.
ahead and give me 4 might rolls, since it was 4 skirmishes. Okay,
Hmm.
that is
Hmm. Hmm.
2 successes.
Yes.
Okay, so in 2 of the fights,
The one.
you contributed substantially enough that you were given a little bit of cash as a. Oh, I should probably write more than just the number there. You were given a little bit of cash as basically like compensation for your services since you were working, and you got a total of 40 coins between the two.
Okay.
Um, and then Kaz, what would you how are you hoping to earn money?
Um, well, yeah, I could just try. I'll just go out and see if I can find it on the streets.
Okay.
That makes
Um,
sense for
yeah, no, like I said, that's essentially what I figured you would probably be doing is just going around and doing scavenger stuff like usual, because that is what
yeah,
he is used to doing and how he makes most of his money.
yeah.
So go ahead and give me, let's see, give me 2 deftness checks, and
Okay,
then after that, I'll give you a couple more, but I'm gonna do them just in sequence. I don't remember. Okay, so neither of those success. So now give me a might check.
okay.
Ooh, this is not going well. And finally, give me a grit check. Okay, that is a success. So, so basically, uh, in addition to his normal activity, Gavril does decide after seeing someone one day with a particularly heavy purse that he just truly feels like, must be weighing them down, and they would certainly want to lighten their load a bit. He
Yeah,
gets a little too impulsive and tries to take it upon himself to help them with that issue, and he does get caught in the act. He ends up actually like they take rather exception and start hitting him, and they basically seem to beat him in a fight, but he was essentially throwing the fight so that while they were attacking he could swipe a few coins off of them. So he's ultimately only able to get 15 more coins. That's all he's able to swipe off of them in the midst of getting beaten up. But he manages to
okay,
avoid anything too any injuries that are terribly severe. And after that, he decides maybe he's gonna stick to his more his less risky methods for the rest of the time.
okay.
All right. Now we got a robo lady. Have
All
you
right.
figured out how you wish to phrase it?
Yes, I think because of recent events of what she's tried to do, because she's mostly a blank slate anyways. It's just
Hmm.
uh because she's tried so many times to gather data or try to fix the data of her her siblings or whatever. She's probably going to end up focusing more into into like that sense than rather than like physical like crafting of mechanics and stuff like that.
Okay, so focused on code in some capacity makes
Yeah.
sense. That's pretty much what I figured. Anything specific in that regard?
Uh s- specific how?
I mean, I guess like, are you like that's just coding and such is fairly broad. Like, is she going to be trying to work on learning how to write code, learning how to just like analyze code, learning how to, like hack into networks to get information, etc. Like, what would be what would be the thing that you think
I
you'd
think
focus the most on?
probably trying to analyze code, I think.
Okay. In that case, I'm going to say, give me. Give me 4 insight checks. I'm just going to keep it simple. I know that's a bad stat for you, but I do think that's the most appropriate.
Okay. Fail, pass, fail. Or fail, pass, fail, pass. Sorry.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that is so, it's not something that you're necessarily like naturally gifted at, as it turns out or anything like that. But it is something for which you have an app, you have an both, like you said, from recent events and also just out of a drive to figure out something that you can do to contribute and help to make everything happen and everything come together. So you do pick it up over time and you get better. We'll say that you get just a total of 20 coins on top of on top of your extra keep, is what you're able to, 20 coins more than you need for the boat. Jesus,
Yeah.
words are hard at 9 o'clock at night, apparently. Um, so you make just a little bit, and you have more familiarity now with that sort of thing. And I'm actually going to add code analysis as a purview, as this is something that, like, as Umbra is sort of, reforming memories, skills, and personality and stuff like that, this is sort of like, this is a thing that she has determined she is going to be interested in and focus on. And so going forward, that will, provide some dividends a little bit. And, you know, offset the fact that it's not her best skill inherently. But her motivation will, essentially gives you that little bit of a buff, or however you want to think about it.
Yep.
But yeah, and so then otherwise, yeah, it would be, like I said, about 3 weeks are gonna pass in total as you are doing stuff and helping out with things and earning some money. Rain's leg gets fully healed and everything like that.
And they got rehealed?
Not leg. Sorry, your gaping chest wound. I forgot. I misremembered which severe injury still needing to be cleared. Um, but yeah, Rain finishes his recovery. Everybody's able to make a little bit of money. And then when the time comes and the ship is ready to depart, you all will be ready for it as well, and be hopping on and heading out. So the we're gonna, this is gonna be the end of our session for today. The thing that I need from you guys, either discuss it amongst yourselves a bit between now and the next game, or we can discuss it next time. But I want you guys to think about, where do you want to go next? Like, which island do you want to go to next? And if there's any, like, gear, whether it's stuff that's in the book or like other things that you can think of that you would, want or need, that you would want to spend any of your, essentially, like, extra pocket change on before you leave the island.
Okay.
And I would ideally like to have an idea. Like, I guess right now, do you know what island you would want to go to first between the three that this ship passes through?
Well, I'll just be looking to go on the line, really.
Okay, so you're
Get more
basically just
information.
thinking of, pretty much get off at the first one and see what you can
Yeah,
find
no,
and just kind of go in sequence?
Yeah,
pretty much, yeah.
Okay. Okay,
yeah.
fair. That makes sense. I wasn't sure if you for any reason wanted to like just, go all the way around to 7 or something like that. So, okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
no plans of doing that yet. I mean, don't know where we're going from here. Well, other than the first island.
Fair. All right. In that case, then I will just assume that 6 is where we're going next, and I'll get a little bit of stuff planned and ready for that. It's possible, just kind of depending on how things are going for me, I might have to skip our next game if I don't have things fully ready for a new island at that point. But I will, I'll make sure to let you guys know ahead of time whether that's going to need to be the case or not.
Okay.
Yeah, and then otherwise, like I said, either, look through the book and see what stuff already exists within the system, or just, think about it a bit on your own and what things you would want to see, and let me know if there's anything that you guys want to purchase before leaving the island. Otherwise, does anybody have any thoughts, questions, ideas before we call it for the night?
Nope.
Don't think so.